scent and soft shed kisses and soft sleep shall snare. Dante Gabriel Rossetti, Body's Beauty. A smoky winter fog had settled atop the city of London, reaching its pale tendrils across the streets, wreathing the buildings in dull tinsel. It cast a grey pallor over ruined trees as Lucie Herondale drove her carriage up the long, neglected drive towards Chiswick House, its roof rising from the fog like the top of a Himalayan peak above clouds. With a kiss on the nose and a blanket over his withers, she left her horse, Balios, at the foot of the front steps and set off through the remains of the terraced garden. She passed the cracked and ruined statues of Virgil and Sophocles, now overgrown by long tendrils of vines, their limbs broken off and lying among the weeds. Other statues were partially hidden by overhanging trees and unpruned hedges, as if they were being devoured by the dense foliage. Picking her way over a toppled rose arbour, Lucie finally reached the old brick shed in the garden. Its roof was long since gone. Lucie felt a bit as if she'd come across an abandoned shepherd's hut on the moors. A thin finger of grey smoke was even rising from within. If this were the beautiful Cordelia, a mad but handsome duke would come staggering across the heath, but nothing ever happened as it did in books. All around the shed she could see small mounds of earth, where, over the past 4 months, she and Grace had buried the unsuccessful results of their experimentation, the unfortunate bodies of fallen birds or cat-slain rats and mice that they had tried over and over to bring back to life. Nothing had worked yet, and Grace didn't even know all of it. She remained unaware of Lucie's power to command the dead. She did not know that Lucie had tried ordering the small bodies to come back to life, had tried reaching within them to catch at something she could draw into the world of the living, but it had never worked. Whatever part of them Lucie might have been able to command had fled with their deaths. She had mentioned none of that to Grace. Lucie gave a philosophic shrug and went up to the massive wooden slab of a door. She did sometimes question what the point was of having a door on a building that didn't have any roof, and tapped a coded pattern. 1, 2, 1, 2. Instantly she heard someone crossing the floor and turning the bolt, and the door swung open. Grace Blackthorn stood in the doorway, her face set and serious. Even in the foggy weather, her hair loose around her shoulders glinted silvery bright. "You've come," she said, sounding more surprised than pleased. "I said I would." Lucie pushed past Grace. The shed had a single room inside with a floor of packed earth, now partly frozen. A table had been pushed against the wall under the Blackthorn family sword, which hung from coarsely forged iron hooks. On the table a makeshift laboratory had been constructed. There were rows of alembics and glass bottles, a mortar and pestle, and dozens of test tubes. An assortment of packets and tins took up the rest of the table, some lying open, others emptied and collected in a pile. Next to the table was a fire that had been laid directly on the ground, the source of the smoke escaping from the missing roof. The fire was unnaturally silent, emanating not from wood logs, but from a mound of stones, its greenish flames licking greedily upward, as though seeking to consume the iron cauldron suspended from a hook above it. The cauldron held a simmering black brew that smelled earthy and chemical at the same time. Lucie approached a second, larger table slowly. On it rested a coffin. Through its glass lid she could see Jessie, exactly as he'd appeared when they were last together, white shirt, black hair lying soft against the nape of his neck. His eyelids were pale half-moons. She had not confined herself to birds and bats and mice. She had tried commanding Jessie to come back to life too, though she had been able to do it only during the short periods when Grace had gone to fetch something and left her alone with Jessie's body. She had fared even worse with that than she had with the animal.